Good morning, Falcon Nation. Today is Tuesday, November 21st, and this is Miss Minchin and my fabulous partner, Mr. Harwood, coming live this morning with our news.
Yesterday, the 5th and 6th graders went back to the polls to cast their ballots for the office of Senate. And today we have some of those results that are beginning to pour out. In a moment behind me, Ms. Minchin is going to display our whiteboard and the power and balance of control in the Senate. Numbers matter. So when we start to put the circles up on the board behind us, red is an indicator of Republican pickup and blue would be a Democratic pickup. At the end, the party that has the most circles will control the Senate, which will then ultimately elect the leadership of the Senate. So today's results are going to start to give us a glimpse of where that's going. As we know, President-elect Mr. Gabe Varghese, Democrat, Vice President-elect Charlotte Maurer, Republican, are already elected and awaiting to take their oath in January. Today, we will begin to get updates as far as who has picked up these Senate seats in some of these classes. The ballots were overwhelmingly full yesterday. One particular class had 2 columns of candidates that were voting. And as a result of so many people running for the Senate and the interest being there and the ideas that these kids have, we do have several races that cannot be called today because of the fact that we have ties. And as a result of that, there will be some runoff elections next week, which we'll get to at the end of these results. So with no further ado, we're going to start to release some results here today. I'm going to start with my own homeroom, Mr. Harwood's class, and a pickup for the Republican Party. One of the seats in Harwood's class will go to the Republican Party, and that will be given to Miss Michaela Martin. And a huge congratulations to her and a Republican pickup for Mr. Harwood's class. I'm going to shift over to Mr. DeMarty's class. This was an interesting ballot. We had former Senators Wilson on the ballot. We had former Senator Joshua on the ballot trying to recapture their Senate seats from the 5th grade year. And then we had a whole slew of members of the House on this ballot. We had Mr. Buck on this ballot. We had Ms. Fernandez on this ballot. We had former Clerk of the House Nikki Laut on this ballot. So we had several members of the House that were also trying to capture Senate seats, and we can reveal it is another Republican pickup in DeMarty's class. This will go to the former clerk of the House of Representatives, Nikki Laut, will win a seat in the Senate from Mr. DeMarty's class. I'm going to shift gears over to Ms. Gibbons' class, another ballot that had a wealth of experience on it. We had Emma S., a former member of the House on this ballot. We had Axel Austin, also a former member of the Senate, trying to recapture his Senate seat. And in Miss Gibbons' class, the Democrats will pick up a seat here, and that will go to Mr. Axel Austin. He is going to be reelected to the Senate. He served in the Senate last year, representing Ms. Minchin's class, and will now hold his place in the Senate for 2024. I'm going to shift over to Mr. Osmond's class, the largest of all of the ballots that we had. And I'm going to announce that we have another Democratic pickup. And Mr. Osmond's class has elected Megan Craig to the office of Senate. And a huge congratulations to her, joining her counterpart, Axel Austin, as a pickup in the Senate. I'm going to shift over to Miss Minchin's class to report out that we have a Republican pickup coming out of Miss Minchin's class. The Supreme Court Justice Violet Oliveira's sister, Allison Oliveira, will pick up a seat in the Senate representing Miss Minchin's class. As I told you at the start of this broadcast, we have several seats that cannot be called. I have, according to our reporting, one more seat to reveal here today. It is another Republican pickup, and it comes out of Mr. Osmond's class. This will be given to Jaden D. Jaden D will pick up the 2nd seat in Mr. Osmond's class. As we can see, he elected Megan Craig as well as Jaden D to the office of Senate. And as you can see these circles behind me, There's a lot of classes that don't have their second seat yet. And the reason for that is we have several ties that are going to have to be broken after the Thanksgiving break. It is also going to determine the power in the Senate. We can see right now for Republicans to Democrats, majority in the Senate is technically 5 seats. The vice presidency would end with Charlotte casting that tie-breaking vote. So noting that in Mr. Harwood's class, there will be a runoff between Ellery and Chase. Will have a runoff election after the Thanksgiving break to determine the second seat in Mr. Harwood's class. Over in Miss Minchin's class, there will be a runoff between 3 contenders: Jacob Emerson, Caitlin Solomon, which comes from a legacy of leadership in the government, and Evan R. Evan R. will hold possibly a seat in the Senate. So Minchin's class has to decide between those 3 contenders. Over in Mr. DeMarty's, or excuse me, Ms. Gibbons' class, there will be a runoff between Derek A. and Cyrus A. Those 2 gentlemen will battle it out for the second seat in the Senate representing Gibbons' class. And over in Mr. DeMarty's class, there will be a runoff between 2 former members of the House. Trevor Buck and Lydia Fernandez will verse each other in the runoff seat for Mr. DeMarty's class. So we can't report 4 seats here today. It's the most that we've not been able to report after Election Day in the Senate. We'll have more results after Thanksgiving break. And for all the kids involved in those runoffs, we will be giving you details as to when that vote will take place. On behalf of myself, Ms. Minchin, and all of the candidates that have expressed interest in the Senate, we congratulate the winners, but we also congratulate those who made the attempt. There is one more branch of government, the House of Representatives, that we will be electing after Thanksgiving break. And I hope that the interest here on these ballots carries over, because there are a lot of people interested in holding seats here in the school-wide government for the 2024 school year. Ms. Minchin.
All right, back to our regular program news. We had the food collection drive. You guys, that ends today. I'm so proud of all of you guys wearing your pajamas. That meant you have donated one last time. Get your cans in so you can wear those PJs.
The hat, mitten, and scarf tree is also set up in the media center, as we know. It is slowly beginning to get some donations. If you are out and about over the weekend, the holiday break, near the Dollar Tree, and you have the opportunity to get some warm gifts to put on that tree to help our community for the season, that would be grateful. Our statewide government is sponsoring that challenge.
Our mindset thought of the day is from Teddy Roosevelt. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. How can you show someone that you care today? Thanksgiving is a perfect opportunity to tell your family how much they mean to you.
Another example of respect. We try to cite these examples on the news of students that are paying this respect being shown to our Falcon Nation. This one actually comes out of Ms. Gibbons' class, and we're going to recognize Mr. Axel Austin, showing that he values all of his classmates in a current leadership role as well. Even if he's not close with friends that he doesn't hang out with on a daily basis, he still includes them. During class discussions, he's always one that listens to other opinions without judgment. And another example of respect comes out of Ms. Horwood's class. Inez uses polite words and shows compassion to everyone at our school every single day. Great job, Inez.
Just a heads up, Monday morning, that we return from Thanksgiving break, we're going to have our next assembly to honor our Falcons that are showing us our 3 R's, our respect, our responsibility, and our relationship.
Today's lunch is crazy cheesy bread. Tomorrow's lunch is crispy chicken tenders, meaning Monday we come back from break. And we have no birthdays to report on here today.
Hope you guys have a spectacular Thanksgiving break. Rest up, and we will see you when we return.
Can we please stand for the pledge?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a great Thanksgiving, Falcons.
Bye, guys.